Hello, this is Emily Baker from EKU Manchester, and I am doing a speech over art history for Professor Newman's communications class. Art has been around since the beginning of time. Since early man has discovered how to pick up pigment on an instrument, man has created art. Prehistoric art gives us a window into the past. Mostly drawn or painted into cave walls, rocks, or animal hide, this art mostly consisted of tribal huntings, animal killings, and great battles. Early art was an early form of language, ironically, drawing out these happenings for all to see. Early man used a mixture made from berries and clay to paint, used a feather or stick as a brush, or drew with crisp pigmented rocks like modern day charcoal pencils. When ceramics became popular to man, the first body forms were made, using clay and stone. While the animal craze was still popular, this form of sculpture allowed people to depict gods and goddesses, the ones they worshipped. The earliest form of these figures were fertility goddesses like Freya, the Norse god from mythology, that women and men would make to ensure a fertile marriage. Also popular was the Egyptian sun god Ra. These statues would be placed in temples for worshipping purposes. From 850 BC to 476 AD, the Greek and Romans stood out in their art. Newer art techniques was applied in this time, separating them from the early art style and making them more modern. The Greeks, with their idealistic thinking, made sculptures depicting their deities in a too close to perfection style. Most Greek art represented their religion as well as the Romans, though Roman art gave off a more realistic and practical tone. Both Greek and Roman artists sculpted their statues from marble and granite and painted on animal hides, and both sects stayed with the recurring and popular theme of telling their origin and history. Moving into the Middle Ages and the Renaissance period, art was solely focused on religion, more specifically Christianity. Painting was the rave of this art period, and the paint was made from oils, berries, and even mummified corpses. Though these paintings were not always mathematically correct, they were still praised for their subject matter. Altar pieces and even chapel walls were ornamented with these holy artworks. This time period gave birth to some of the most famous and renowned artists to ever lived, such as Da Vinci and Michelangelo. The Sistine Chapel, Mona Lisa, and Last Supper were all conceived in this time frame. Transitioning to the more modern times, realistic artworks were placed on the back burner, while Cubist and Surrealist artists made its way to center stage in the art world. Famous painters like Pablo Picasso and Frida Kahlo pushed this movement with their abnormal and controversial artworks. This modern style of art focused less on the look of the pieces and more on the matter and meaning behind it. These pieces highlighted and portrayed the troubles and topics of the day, such as feminism and poverty. In this time period, you can feel the emotions behind each piece. It is clear how the artist felt while making these masterpieces, and that in itself is a pioneer and worth mentioning. In conclusion, art throughout history has drastically changed, and through each time period, more is learned, and there is more to be learned. Each step in art is an important movement, an important improvement, and each step builds off one another. Art is a language, and some art gives them people freedom. Art has come a long way and has a long way to come.